And welcome back to the channel, everybody. Got tongue-tied there for a minute. I'm Brant,
I'm Lisa.
and this is Brant versus Lisa, top 5 comics, rated and ranked. Talking about this is the series where each week we pick our most anticipated earlier in the week, and then this is the show where we talk about those. We rate them, we rank them, we compare notes, and we see who's right and who's wrong. No, I'm kidding.
Where they fall.
Yeah, where they fall, and see if we agree or disagree.
Mm.
That's a better way of putting that. So, so the 5 books that we picked this week, we got Excellence #1 from Image, we got Unnatural #9 from Image, we've got Batman and the Outsiders #1 from DC, Squirrel Girl #44 from Marvel, and War of the Realms: New Agents of Atlas #1 from Marvel. So yes. Those are the 5 books we're talking about this week. And
I didn't get anything else read, so I won't be talking about anything else.
Okay. I've read a few things. I don't remember what now. I read Shazam, but I don't want to spoil that for you, so I won't say too much about that.
You can say if you liked it.
Let me see. What else came out this week? Just to throw it out there, that some stuff I could talk about if people pop up in the chat and want to discuss any other books. Let's see. I have also read so far, not a whole lot, honestly. Shazam is one of them. Is that the? Oh, I read Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and that might be it so far. Yeah, those are the only 2 other books that I've read so far. So not a whole lot for me to talk about either. But if anybody wants to talk about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man or Shazam, I'm there. All right, so my number 5, I'll just jump in there with it.
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl, #44.
It's actually mine too.
Oh, okay. I gave it 2.5.
I gave it 3.
Okay. I'm just not a fan of the book. That's all.
I didn't hate it. I don't like the flat art too well.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just kind of eh.
Yeah, I like the character.
Yeah.
Squirrel, I like her better in other things. I like her Marvel Rising a lot. In this book, I keep trying to get into this book, and I just cannot do it. It's just not my thing.
It had some funny moments. What was that one?
Funny is subjective. But.
Where they talked about that the squirrel god or whatever said something about y'all are always in chaos. It seems like every summer there's a new crazy thing.
And she was like, I'm sure it's not every summer. You know what my reaction was? It's every summer, winter, spring, fall, and everything in between.
Maybe he was referencing movies.
Maybe. I know. I don't know. It just...
I thought it was kind of funny.
It fell a little flat for me, just like the art. But it's not my thing. It's not bad. I'm not saying that. It's just not my thing, and I cannot get into this book. I tried, and like you said, there were a few bright spots here and there. It was kind of funny, but it just wasn't my type of humor, I guess.
Yeah.
So I wasn't feeling it. So that's my thoughts on Squirrel Girl.
I agree.
Okay. All right. So what is your number 4 then?
And number 4 is Batman and the Outsiders.
Okay. That's not mine.
Okay.
Would you score it?
I gave it 3.
Okay.
I liked other team books we read better. It felt a little more disjointed. Okay. I liked parts of it. Other parts was like, it was hard to follow for me. But maybe that's because I don't know the characters as well.
Yeah. Maybe.
Some of them.
See, I'm torn. Like my 3 and 4, I went back and forth. I actually, if you could see it, it's like written over. I had 3 books. I was like, actually my 2, 3, and 4, I was like shuffling them. I'm really not sure exactly where they fall. But I went with Agents of Atlas as my number 4 ultimately, because I'm gonna stick to my list. And the only reason being, and the reason it's lower than Batman and the Outsiders, is because I was more familiar with the Batman characters and that story, whereas some of these characters, and I thought they were cool. I really enjoyed the book. I give it 3.5. But it was very much set up. Miss Marvel gets shoved off right away, and you're kind of thrust into this plot where you're introduced to a bunch of different characters, bunch of new characters all at once, and that's the only reason. That's like my only justification why it would be lower. But I did enjoy the book, and I thought it was a solid lead opening to the story.
Yeah.
I thought the reason that they came together in Asia made sense. It fit. It worked.
Mm-hmm.
And introducing all these other characters, it was kind of cool because now you've got this whole other team.
Right.
So I enjoyed it, and I thought the art was pretty strong as well.
Me too.
But
the art for me again on Batman, I didn't.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that to me.
Just some of the hatching on the faces, it was like it made the people look really old and weird.
What did you think about the overall plot of it?
It's just like, I don't know, because Batman's just like leaving them to their own devices. Like, here, I give you a task, do it.
Right.
You take care of them, Black Lightning. I don't care anymore. And I don't know.
That's kind of how he's being right now, though. Yeah, my number 3 is actually Batman and the Outsiders. So I'll go ahead and talk about it. I like the art. I actually think the art is really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The story, I agree with you. It's a little disjointed. I think this issue was better than the lead-up issues they had. I know you didn't read them, but the lead-up issues they had in Detective with these characters, I thought this was better than that. And again, I'm very familiar with the Batman characters. I know all these characters, so
I don't know them all.
I was a little bit more invested, but at the same time, I feel like by this point, they should have already been gelling a little bit more, and Black Lightning shouldn't have been so hesitant because that was already all done in Detective Comics.
Yeah, that was another. He was a little whiny.
Yeah, and he should have already been past that. And when this book opened, he should have already come to that realization and everything. So that bothered me a little bit, but. Yeah. The plot so far is a little thin. I'm hoping it gets stronger as the series goes on, and maybe there's more ulterior motives that Batman has for putting this team together and stuff that will come out. So, but I thought it was a solid opening.
Yeah.
Right. So, what was your number 3 then?
That would be Excellence.
Okay.
I gave it 3.5. Okay. I did really like it.
Yeah.
There were some moments that I didn't.
Okay.
Just a little. I don't know. What's the word? Not crass. It's too real for me.
Too real.
I don't know.
The language.
Yeah.
And so forth. Okay.
Some areas.
Okay.
But I like the plot. I like the son proving to his dad that he got what it takes, and kind of bending the rules, kind of like Kirk does in Star Trek.
Yeah.
So I like that.
It was interesting because I don't know if you read the afterword by the writer.
No, I didn't.
He talked about how his favorite stories, they all boiled down to one thing, and it was a father and son kind of story, and that's why he wanted to tell this one.
Yeah.
And he's pulled some of it from his actual life and some of it from fantasy and different things. And I thought that was really interesting to kind of enhance the experience for me a little bit. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay. So that was both of our number 3s. My number 2 was Unnatural, number 9.
Mine too.
Okay. Wow. So you really liked Agents of Atlas.
I did.
That's
you
awesome.
You really liked Excellent.
Yes. I gave you Unnatural 3.5. So my 2, 3, and 4 all were 3.5 books.
I gave
3.5 stars.
7, 5.
I really enjoyed this book. I didn't think this was the strongest issue of the series.
No.
I also didn't think it furthered the plot a lot this issue.
Yeah, most of it happened at the very end.
Yeah.
Or her parts.
Yeah, the majority of the issue was her inner turmoil, her inner battle with the wolf, with the albino.
Right.
So you didn't get a whole lot of character growth with the rest of the cast, and you didn't get a lot of character growth with her. Now the cliffhanger ended on, you could see it coming. It was a little telegraphed too, because that was really the only way out of this situation, and that was interesting because it's like you got to find out what happens to her after that. But again, the art in this book is just absolutely gorgeous. I felt like up to this point, like all the societal stuff that they've been throwing in has been kind of a lot more subtle. It's been there. It's been in the. I mean, subtle.
It was pretty.
Subtle may be the wrong word.
Yeah.
It's definitely there.
Yeah.
You can definitely see it. It's not, but it's not like slamming you over the head with it.
Yeah.
But I felt like this issue, they kind of slammed a little bit of it. Yeah, they threw a little bit at you, and
giving
it's like
us that history of how it all started.
Yeah. So it was a little bit more bold.
Yeah.
If you're not used to that with it. But I guess, after 8 issues, they can afford to be a little bit bolder. But I still enjoyed it.
I did like the flashback to her mom.
Yeah.
So you learn more about her.
And more about her dad, which explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your number 1 is Agents of Alice.
Yes, it is.
And
for some of the same reasons you said, I like that it didn't feel like the setup was more organic. It wasn't like why are they just happen to all be together, which we were worried about.
Yeah,
like they're just gonna cram them all together for no reason.
Right. Yeah, that was our concern for sure.
Yeah, but it felt more natural because there were a couple people already patrolling that area, and then they had Hulk. Is it Hulk?
Yeah, well, Braun. Braun is what his name is now. He used to be called Hulk. Now he goes by Braun.
And Miss Marvel were there on request of the leader.
Yeah, Jimmy Woo.
Basically, there's another school, like Xavier's school.
Yeah.
That he was having them teach or give a.
Yeah, he's wanting to make them full on Agents of Atlas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, and I guess they had teamed up before, which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And then of course they're part of the Champions, which they heavily reference, so that they kind of brought what's going on in Champions over, which I thought was neat.
And then they brought in those new characters that we don't know, but I thought they did it in a way that sort of made sense.
Yeah.
And because it's tied in with War of the Realms, I felt like I knew what was going on a little better.
Yeah.
Than I did in Batman. So I'm like, I haven't read that in ages.
Yeah.
So I was like, you had to explain to me why Batman's being all moody
and,
and stuff.
Yeah.
So I liked it, and I liked the very end. She seemed interesting.
Trying to remember where it goes.
I'm pretty sure that's that book.
Which part of your?
The new character that showed up.
I mean, there was a lot of new characters that showed up in this movie.
I don't know if it's giving something away. I can't remember if she was in the thing or not.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Or if she's a new.
Completely new.
Oh, I already got rid of
it. Okay. No, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, Mike? Mike is joining us. Hi, Brant and Lisa. Hope you guys are having a great night. We are, actually. Pretty good night tonight.
Yeah.
So your sister and her husband are in town, so they came over tonight, and we just got through with dinner and everything. So, no, having a great night. Thank you. Hope you are as well. And thanks for tuning in, man.
Am I confusing books?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There was a fire character.
Oh, no, that was that book. Okay. You're right. And she wasn't on the cover. Yeah, you're right. Okay. I forgot about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to see where that's going.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it made me think it's like Ember. That was pretty cool. No, I'd totally forgotten about that part. But yeah, no, you're right. That was in that book.
Okay.
Man, I probably should have rated that one a little bit higher now that I'm thinking about it. I knew I was going to regret it. Oh, well.
That's fine.
I thought about making it my number 2, but I did not. But when you think about it, my 2, 3, and 4 are basically equal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard.
Right.
So my number 1 is Excellence, like you said. I really enjoyed this book. And it's right up my alley. It's my kind of book.
Yeah.
You got the magic thing. You got the underdog character that's kind of, he's cast off like he's not anything special, like he's never going to achieve it.
Yeah.
And he proves everybody wrong and kind of changes the game, which is, you kind of alluded to that with the Kirk thing.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that aspect. I like those kind of characters. I'm a fan of Carrie Randolph's art. I really like Carrie Randolph's
really
art.
Good.
Yeah. I told you you'd like it.
Yeah.
The only nitpick with the art was sometimes, for some reason, when he was drawing the main character's head, he would take the hairline past, and he wouldn't erase it. So you have like a little line of his hair just.
Oh, I didn't notice.
It was both on the forehead and on the back. Just the line went through, and they didn't erase it. It was weird. I saw it in a few panels. There was one like really up close, and I was like, "Does he have a rat tail, or is that?" No, it's just the art just went on it. It was weird, but other than that, the art was fantastic, and like especially when he was in the trial or whatever, and doing the magic or whatever,
right?
And again, it's like an urban Harry Potter kind of thing. In a way, it's pretty cool. So, and I like the realism of it. It felt real to me. It felt genuine.
I guess because it's all magical and stuff, it was just like a little more than I expected.
I get that,
few places.
But from the perspective it's being written, I kind of understand it and accept it. So I just really enjoyed it.
No, I'll definitely keep going, and I probably will get used to it. It's just not. I wasn't expecting it. That's all.
I gave it 4 stars.
I think I gave it 3.
What did you give Agents of Atlas?
I gave it 4.
4. Okay.
So nothing was perfect.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah, nothing perfect. I mean, I thought this was a really great opening issue, and it's got me totally invested in the world and wanting to see, especially what happens with his, relative. I don't want to give too much away, but
you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and if they're going to bend the rules and all that kind of stuff, which it's going to introduce all kinds of different elements.
Seems likely.
And I love that it's the house system. He's one of the families, the prestigious families and all that stuff. So you got that weighing on you too. So a lot of layers to it.
Right.
So I like it.
Me too.
But yeah, that's our top 5 then. And as far as the other books go, I talked to you a little bit about Shazam. It was interesting for anybody. I'm not going to spoil it because you haven't read it yet. But it was interesting because there were at least 4 different artists on this book, maybe 5. I don't remember. But the way they broke it up was there was an artist that did the opening and closing with Black Adam, because he opens the issue and he's going after them. And then you had a different artist for each of the realms. So you had one for the fun lands, one for the game lands, and one for the wild lands. And they were, if you look at the credits, it was like, okay, this artist does pages 1 through 3 and 20 through 21.
Had they done that before this?
If they did, I didn't notice it.
I didn't either.
But the art, I mean, like in the Wildlands art, it looked the same to me. So maybe they did. Maybe it was changing and I didn't realize it, because the styles do complement each other, which you don't always get, but it's kind of flowed nicely for me. But some interesting things happen, especially with the Wildlands, that I think are going to come into play. And then I thought it was a really good issue, personally. And Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I know, Mike, if you're still in the comments, I know he read it and he really enjoyed it. Said it was the best issue of the series so far. I really enjoyed it too. It was a new arc. Actually, it was like a one-shot issue. It was a standalone, and it was, because I know you don't read this book, so I can talk about this one. It's this adventure of Spider-Man and Spider-Bite, which is like this 9-year-old kid that's dressed up like Spider-Man. But the cool thing, there's more to it. There's like a twist to it. And I am going to spoil this. So anybody that has not read Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I think it's issue number 6. I am going to spoil this a little bit because it's really touching. I know you're probably not going to read it. He goes through this adventure with him throughout the whole thing. And he's fighting like old school Sinister Six, like Dr. Octopus and the Vulture and Kraven and all these. And when you get to the end of it, the scene changes and you realize that he's with a sick kid. And it's like boxes and everything. And it was like their imaginary adventure. And he was taking this kid. And then at the very end, he takes him swinging for real. And it was just such a touching, emotional, moving story. Yeah. And Tom Taylor just like knocked that out of the park with this book. It was phenomenal. So that's why both Mike and I probably really enjoyed it. So yeah. So there you go. Yeah, so thanks again, Mike, for tuning in, and anybody who watches this post live, would love to hear your comments on what your favorite books of the week are, what you thought of our picks, and our opinions on those and everything. And of course, you can tune into Frontline Live, episode 250 next week, as myself and the rest of Frontline talk about all the books that we read, our definitive top 5, because this is never my definitive one. No. But we'll talk about that, and we have a new giveaway coming up. Mike Spider-Slayer is actually hosting this one, and speaking of Spider-Man, it's all around Spider-Man. So if you're a Spider-Man fan, you're definitely going to want to tune in for that. But other than that, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe notification bell so you get updates on all the content going up to the channel. Join us live. Now we're doing live on Tuesdays and Fridays. Yes. Right? So our most anticipated is live. We haven't settled on time yet for that one. It will be before Frontline Live, of course. Of course. Probably sometime during the day. And then Fridays for this. So you can also follow me at Brant Fowler on Facebook and Twitter. Follow both of us at Last Summer Press on Instagram. Until next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you real soon. Bye. Bye. Always got to click the mouse so it'll work again.